Welcome to week one. This week we're going to be talking about strategies in organizations. Now, when we talk about strategies, a lot of times we think about it in places that look like this: boardrooms, where CEOs or C-suite members or board of directors come up with amazing plans that then organizations flawlessly execute, and then those people get the credit, right? If we take a look at business biographies, for instance, this book about Southwest Airlines' success, you've got a nice huge picture of the CEO, the former, Herb Kelleher, the founder, but the success of Southwest, of course, is not just this dude said something and then everyone did it automatically. As this course is about employer relations, we will be talking a lot about this week in the readings that you will see in the supplemental videos and through our case study and exercises, how much the people, the human resources, have a big impact on strategies and what happens through them. So we'll talk about that quite a bit, that we need to get people on board, that a lot of these things are going to succeed or fail based on, do the workers care? Do they actually do what they should? Do they understand what is going on? That understanding is going to be a big part that you will see in the readings for this week. We'll talk about a few different ways we can look at strategies and what we do. One thing that you will see in the video and the slides for this week is we'll talk about SWOT analysis. Now, you certainly might have heard of SWOT analysis in previous classes or in your own experiences. It's going to be looking at the strengths an organization has. So what is it good at? The weaknesses, things where it may not have the right people for, or it may not have experience in. It's going to include the O is opportunities. What are some areas that the company could go into or do more of? And then threats. What are those things that could hurt the company's success? And so that SWOT analysis you'll take a look at, and we'll do some of that in the discussion boards for this week as well. And this is an exercise that we can potentially do with a number of people in an organization. It's not just usually the founder goes through this. It's often good if people across a bunch of different groups go through it as well. We'll take a look at now another example of something. This is something that builds off the SWOT analysis, but focuses more on the positive side of the organization. It comes from somewhat of an appreciative inquiry type background, trying to focus on those strengths an organization has and the positives. And what this is called is a SOAR analysis. So we're going to go ahead now and take a look at the board. And so the SOAR analysis is trying to focus on really building on those good things in an organization. So it starts similar to the SWOT analysis with strengths and opportunities. So those strengths, what the organization is good at, what do people have in terms of current skills, what does the organization do well? So a company like Southwest Airlines might focus on its excellent customer service. It's got a very dedicated workforce. Those are things that are strengths in this case. We then go on to those opportunities. What are areas that the company could go into? What are areas that might be of value for the company? And then we have, for the last two areas here, instead of that threats or weaknesses, we have a focus more on the future and positive elements. So we have aspirations. Aspirations in this sense is, where do we want to go? So what is the future we want to reach? So for an organization like Purdue Fort Wayne, what is that place we want to be in the future? What are we building towards? A lot of times we can focus on short-term problems or issues that arise, but where do we want to go? And then finally, that last part, results. Results here is going to be about what shows us that we are successful. So we can say we want to be the best at something, but what does that mean? We can say we want happy customers, but how do we look at it? And so the last part of SOAR will look at those parts, that results that would show we have succeeded, actual data to look at. And so that's what this week is going to focus on, is strategies. So take a look at stuff this week. If you have any questions on anything, feel free to email. I will see you on the discussion boards as well. So have a good first week.